I'm Josh with Waupaca Community Media, and we're joined with Ron Sari from the Waupaca School District and Aaron Jensen from the City of Waupaca. And how are you doing this week?
Hey, terrific, Josh. Thanks.
Yeah, very good.
And first thing we want to talk about this week maybe isn't the best news. Emerald ash borer. We've learned that there is some of it in the city, and some of our residents may have seen some communication regarding that. So what's the latest on that, Aaron?
Yeah, so first we'll start out. For those who don't know what emerald ash borer are, it's an insect that buries itself into ash trees and basically eats them and works its way from the inside out and kills the trees. It's probably something you heard about 5, 6, 7 years ago. It was pretty prevalent conversation then. At that time, a lot of municipalities put emerald ash borer kind of procedures in place or plans in place, thinking that, hey, it's just a matter of time before it gets here. And it's actually kind of amazing it took this long. It was just kind of found recently, the last couple of weeks. Been working with our forester, which would be Russ Montgomery, and he's had a plan in place since 5, 6 years ago. The city has 144 ash trees on either public property, that could be right of way, could be parks, things like that. And we'll start taking those down on a priority basis. And the thing is with emerald ash borer is the more infested that tree is, the more man hours it takes to take it down, if it, because it just crumbles and goes all over the place. It's harder to haul away. It's a bigger mess. So the sooner you can get to it, the better. I think property owners will be notified if there's some trees adjacent to their property that'll be taken down. They'll be notified. Good news is all the trees on Main Street. Josh, we have the Main Street project coming up. Almost all of them are ash trees. So, we're planning to replace them. Some people have asked, hey, are we going to save them? But it just doesn't make sense because they're ash trees. We'd be taking them down in a year or so anyway. So yeah, that's
kind of lucked out there. That's maybe some good news with the Main Street project.
It is, yeah, absolutely. We'll get some trees in there that are a little more resilient for current conditions.
So if I'm a resident and you're taking down all these trees as time progresses, I'd be wondering, are you planning to replace them as you take them down?
Well, that's a great question. Our city and Russ and the Public Works Department and Parks, they've had a really good tree replacement program in place for a long, long time. We've been really successful in getting grants, $2,500, $3,000 a year to replant trees on a normal basis. We're actually a tree city, USA, have that designation. So yeah, the answer is yes, we're always replacing trees. And there'll likely be a little added effort with knowing that we have to remove some of these ash trees as well.
All right. We've got some good news. So we're going maybe from not some good news with the emerald ash borer, but to some good news with the school district. You had your school board meeting last night, and you're going to be moving forward over the next several weeks, slowly phasing more in-person learning. And that's going to take effect next week, Tuesday, and then as we head to the middle of February. So Ron, what is that plan?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Well, it's a plan, and I just want to be clear that the caveat is every day we continue to watch the data, and we're watching the county data, and there's recently been a little uptick, but we're also watching our internal data, and so this plan could change at any time, and that has to be made clear. If things start going south, we're gonna go direction. So right now, the data is favorable for us to do this plan, and what it entails is beginning on Tuesday of next week, the students in the 7th through 12th grade that are struggling are going to be notified to come back for in-person learning, and if they don't want to, they could remain in the remote, one of the 2 remote modes that we have, and then 2 weeks after that, which I believe is, let's see, what is that?
February 1st.
Yeah, you're right. Monday, February 1st. The 7th grade at the middle school, and then our freshmen and our seniors at the high school will be coming back. And then finally, on Tuesday, February 16th, the 8th graders and then the 10th and the 11th graders will be coming back. And we anticipate we'll probably have 80 to 85% of our students wanting to come back into the in-person learning, and approximately 15% or so wanting to remain in one of the remote learning modes that we have, either the live or the on-demand.
And we talked about last week that you would be sending out a survey to get everyone's thoughts on this. And what are some of the key takeaways from that survey?
Yeah, we sent the survey to our students, our staff, and our parents. And with the parents, it was just an overwhelming support to move back. Some of the comments were, yes, my child needs to come back as soon as possible. They don't want to wait a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But it is our medical advisor's opinion that we stage it this way, and we go with these phases. And with the little uptick that happened since Christmas break in the county with the numbers, our doctors are saying, it may be better to have a 2-week window between each of these phases so that we can watch the numbers and then make adjustments if necessary. So that's part of the reason. But 70% of the parents who took the survey, as of yesterday when I last checked the data, were in favor of this.
Very good. Something else going on right now that the city is going through is a comprehensive plan and a zoning plan rewrite and update. And Aaron, maybe you can touch really quick where that process is at.
Yeah, really quick. I don't know if going through these processes can be really quick, but I will. I'll touch on the comp plan first. These are two things that we've been working through for the past year, and they're long processes. Doesn't happen very often that you go through a rewrite and an update of both of these. So right now, the comp plan, what we can expect, Andrew Dane, our economic development specialist, and someone who's been working on this comp plan along with other staff in the past year, presented kind of the land use chapter and then the first draft of the comp plan last plan commission meeting. So we'll be coming forward with a resolution on February 3rd for plan commission to adopt that comprehensive plan. And what the comprehensive plan is, it's just, it's a plan for the city. The thing that we talk about the most in that is the future land use map. What do we use certain areas of our city? What's compatible with those areas and fits well, doesn't negatively impact neighbors, provides opportunity for business and residential. So we'll be taking a look at that February 3rd. Then there will be a public hearing. Right now is our timeline on February 16th, and that's immediately before a council meeting, right around 6 o'clock. And then the first reading would happen that night. And then there's a second reading of the ordinance and a possible action to approve it on March 2nd. So that's kind of the timeline for the comp plan. And then the zoning code is also moving forward. And right now we're going through some phase 2. We went through the bulk of it, the phase 1 changes. As you work in a new zoning code, it's a 120-page document or whatever it is, somewhere around there. And as staff has worked through it, we said, hey, you know what, we missed that. This has to be clarified. We need to bring this up to date so it's legally defensible, all of those things. So those are the things we're identifying now as staff internally. We'll bring those phase 2 changes to discuss them at a plan commission meeting here in February. And then we'll continue to work through that process and hopefully adopt those phase 2 changes. The second, it would go through all these processes, and April 20th right now is kind of step 7 out in the process. That's when we would look at adopting those. So things can happen and timelines can change, but that's what we're looking at now.
And what we want to close out with this week, we're sitting in the middle of winter. We've got a big Main Street reconstruction project coming up. And even though we're in the middle of winter, it's, that work's going to start sooner than we think, or we're going to get to that point a lot quicker than we think. And the city is going to be working on with the property owners and residents on Main Street to make sure they can stay informed about the project. How can people do so?
Well, we really hope that it starts sooner than we think. That means we had a good weather spring. Justin just sent some stuff over this morning, and him and Roger Hansen, our street superintendent, are working on communicating with all the people impacted in the Main Street and downtown area. So a letter should be going out to everyone who will be impacted by that project. We just ask that you update your contact information. It's really important for us to stay in touch with you throughout the process as there's closures to certain areas, as there's maybe connections planned and things like that. So if you could help our Public Works Department out and get that contact information updated and back to them as soon as possible, that would be awesome.
Well, Ron, Aaron, thanks for getting us up to date this week. Looking forward to getting more people back in school and some of the projects that the city's working on.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Josh.